Sojos dead. Deal with it. I've seen a lot of people complaining that Sojo dying was too quick, but I promise you it fits the narrative of Kagurabachi and just Sojo's character in general. And I'm going to get into that in this video. Also, there was a lot of big surprises in this chapter. We got introduced to 5 of the 6 original Enchanted Blade wielders, all being the 6th one was killed prior to Cloud Gouger being grabbed, which was interesting. We're also gonna get into the real reason why Chihiro was, kept a secret, and why the other Enchanted Blade was kept a secret. I have a lot of theories in regards to why this is, and I have a lot of opinions on this chapter in itself because in my opinion, it was really, really, really good. Very thought-provoking, and by introducing a lot of new characters, we now have a lot more to look forward to in regards to how Kagurabachi is going to progress. Now, as y'all know, it's your boy DomoSenpai, the Kagurabachi enthusiast, the Gachiakata enthusiast. And if you're hearing this video, and if you're seeing this video, y'all know that I got my Adobe stuff back. If you guys are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, make sure you go down below, hit the link in the description, or the red subscribe button that glowed when I said subscribe if you weren't. I think it's a pretty cool feature, and hopefully y'all stay around and kick it with your boy because we got a lot more in store for you. Got a lot of things happening behind the scenes, so make sure y'all stay tuned. But before we get into any of this, a quick word from our sponsor. As you guys know, Valentine's Day is approaching, and if you're much like myself, you enjoy sweet things from a sweet person. But what if I told you that you could be the sweet person this time by getting somebody something sweet? Big shout out to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. As you guys know, Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box. You will get up to 20 exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. And like I said, it's Valentine's Day, so you guys already know it's going to be some really, really sweet things in there. Same goes for Sakura Co, which is similarly a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box that supports, this is the most important part, supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware, which you guys will see in a little bit. And like I mentioned earlier, the theme this month is Valentine's Day. And there are some things in here that I'm still eating as we speak. Right? So you guys know love is in the air because it's Valentine's Day, and there's a bunch of Valentine's Day themed snacks in this box. One being my most favorite, the strawberry shortcake Kit Kat. That is the most delectable thing I've ever had. It was absolutely insane. Pokemon candy hearts and Pitakata spicy ramen, which I can't wait to actually indulge. I tend to eat snacks at my desk while I'm editing videos like the one you're seeing here. And for Sakura Co, the theme is Valentine's indulgence, and it's not just about sweets, right? That's what they say. Valentine's is not just about sweets in Japan. It's a celebration of shared connections, blending traditional and contemporary delights in a beautiful tale of love and unity. And y'all know me, I love some love and I love some unity. You know what really had me in love and presented some unity? The chocolate Danish that came in this package. It was absolutely crazy. Very sweet. Very sweet. I thoroughly enjoyed it. As y'all know, I don't frequent tea as much, but because of Sakura Co, I've really become a tea person. And this Cocoa Sencha tea is really good. And the tableware item. I've been decorating my office with these tablewares that I've received through this sponsorship, and let me tell you, it really completes my aesthetic. And by the way, I didn't even get into how beautiful the Sakura Co box was. This was a very beautifully crafted box. Some of the things that I thoroughly enjoyed from the box is, like I mentioned, the strawberry shortcake Kit Kat. Words can't begin to describe how delectable it was, and the chocolate Danish, right? The peach dorayaki was pretty good too. If you guys want to indulge, like the Sakura Co theme, for Valentine's Day, you can, not only get your own box, which I would encourage you to do, but also get it as a gift for someone you love or somebody you're trying to court, especially if they're weebs like me. Bro, I'm telling you, you get this for a shorty, which I really would because these things they're beautiful. If you guys want to get any of these things, make sure you guys click my links down below, and there will be a pinned comment just in case you missed it. Use my code DOMO for a nice little percentage off. And yeah, man, thank you Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. But anyway, let's get into this chapter because I want to address Genichi Sojo. I want to address him, and I want to address why you should be happy that he died the way he did. The sword in itself being called Cloud Gouger and using lightning, paired with Sojo's mindset and just the way he fights, him dying as fast as he did makes so much sense, and it's poetic. He came and went just like lightning does. I think that that's very poetic, don't you? And again, he was greedy. He was greedy not only in a sense that he was the leader of the black market, but also he was greedy in thinking that he understood everything there was to be about the enchanted blades and how they're made. So in a sense, again, him going out that way is literally in his character. I hope y'all didn't expect for him to become an ally at some point. Hope not, because that would go against who he is. And that would be too convoluted, even in anime and manga standards, right? So this battle being a representation of who he is, and also Chihiro understanding who he is and just how the blades work, that's going to go into my reasoning as to why Chihiro was truly born and why he was brought up to see things the way he was. I like it. It challenges the status quo of Kagurabachi. I think I did a thorough job of explaining Sojo's death and why it's fitting of him, right? We did a great job of that because it also helped introduce a character who we saw in the background, and I don't know who that was. I don't think it was a zombie. It may have been, but there's also a character who shows up who's wearing something similar to what that person was wearing later on when we get introduced to the head of the Kamunabi. And for those of you who think Chihiro's not gonna get his arm back anytime soon, obviously that's gonna change because Char really loves Chihiro. That's like her dad, essentially. And she's going to make sure that he gets his arm back at some point. And maybe that's the same for some of the anti-Sojo crew who are still alive, right? We may be able to bring their limbs back depending on how Char feels about this whole situation, but that's a different topic for a different day. I was gonna make a separate video about whether or not Sojo died too fast, but I kind of gave you guys my thoughts on that in this video. Now let's continue on to the Kamunabi headquarters and the head of the Kamunabi that we met. I think it was rather interesting seeing these characters, right? I brought this up on my stream last night over at twitch.tv/DomoSenpai TV. If y'all want to see me stream, play some fighting games, some gacha games and stuff like that, make sure y'all go over there and come hang out. I'll be talking about a lot of random stuff at times, and I be ranting, and a lot of my rants be really good. But I talked about this on my stream last night is like one of the reasons I believe that Kunishige did not tell anybody other than the people he was really close with that Chihiro existed is because of the fact that there is somebody there who is on the side of the Hishaku. That was like my thought. And then we met this guy on the board, right? We met this guy on the board who's kind of like giving off the I'm a traitor vibes and probably did not like Kunishige at all, right? And would have wanted to kill Chihiro if he was there. It's really cool when you think about it. And then we also, in this same breath of getting introduced to the head of the Kamunabi, we also got introduced to 5 out of the 6 original wielders of the enchanted blades. Obviously, the 6th guy who was the owner of the Cloud Gouger was killed. At the same time, by the way, this is really odd. At the same time that Kunishige was killed. But one of the even weirder things that happened here is the person in question who is the 5th wielder of a blade is for some reason held between this like super barrier. This is like an insane barrier that nobody can get in and nobody can get out of. So what does this even mean? How dangerous is this person? That's something that we're gonna have to discover later on. That this could mean a multitude of things, but we ain't gonna jump the gun yet. What we also learned in this meeting is the fact that once someone takes possession of the blade, they are the only ones who can wield it. And that is something that Sojo never took into consideration because he didn't know. That's probably why he couldn't fully unlock its abilities, because that contract was nulled. So Sojo did not make a lifelong contract with this blade. And again, that's only known to specific people who really understood Kunishige. You dig what I'm saying? But now, this is where we get into the issues of the situation. Now everyone knows that there is a seventh blade and there is a child of Kunishige Rokuhira who is out here. Everyone knows it now, and that's dangerous. That is very dangerous because now we don't know if the Kamunabi is going to try to apprehend Chihiro and either kill him, torture him for his knowledge on how these swords are made, or whatever. That is one of the most dangerous things here, because the guy in question that I think is a mole, right, and is not really meant to be here, was called out on that fact, right? The guy that was over there was like, he was harboring him because people like you were trying to. And when we get to that idea in itself, it's like, dude, this is completely the main guy of the Kamunabi, who I think is this guy, right, said something that was very, very telling, and I doubt y'all picked up on this. He said, that's why this is a big problem if you knew. So while internal investigations are ongoing, what we need to do is find Chihiro Rokuhira and retrieve Cloud Gouger and the seventh blade. Because now what's happening here is this could be twofold. There could be internal investigations going on Azami, right? And at the same time, this guy, if he is who I think he is, could be having Azami doing the internal investigating, figuring out who let this all slip. Think about it. How did they know? It was only some of the Kamunabi who knew. So how did they know where to find Kunishige? How did they know that the blades were being held in his place? How did they know how to disable the barrier? You see what I'm saying? I see a lot of potential diabolical going down here, and I'm very excited for it. Now, this is also something that I know y'all gonna kill me for this. Y'all already gonna kill me for my thoughts on Sojo, but y'all probably gonna kill me for this. This is where we meet Hiyuki, who, according to the head of the Kamunabi, is their strongest fighter. And I kind of want you guys to dwell on that, right? Like, sit on that for a little bit. I think she's getting smoked. I think this character is getting smoked for various reasons. The storytelling aspect is there. Anytime somebody gets introduced to do something crazy, they get popped. We've seen that in a plethora of manga. It happens all the time. There's always that one guy that everybody's confident in that will do something, and then when they meet an adversary who is too strong for them, they get clapped for thinking that they are the strongest. You know what I'm saying? And let me clarify, for those of you who think that this character here is a wielder of an enchanted blade, no. Remember, there's 6 enchanted, well, 7 if you count Chihiro. Out of the original wielders, Cloud Gouger's now gone. Well, it's broken in half, and Chihiro, I think Chihiro has it now. We've seen the 5 out of the 6. Right, we've seen the other 5. And you also have to remember there is a lifelong contract. So these guys are still alive. So this person cannot be wielding a blade. But what I will say about Hiyuki is I believe Hiyuki is going to be a very powerful sorcerer. And we are now going to be witnessing sorcery. This is why I said this motherfucker is going to get smoked, because if this is the most powerful sorcerer in the Kamunabi and we're going up against a bunch of sorcerers who had to be defeated by enchanted blades, what makes you think that Hiyuki is going to stand a chance against potentially the strongest sorcerers? You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Just think about that. We had to create enchanted blades to put an end, not an end, put a stop to the war. I just want you guys to relish on that idea for a moment, because then your thought process is going to open up and you're going to notice a few more things. Now, let's get to the final point. And this is something that I think a lot of people are probably going to sleep on, but let's really dive into it because, dude, this video is going to be long. I hope it doesn't bore you guys, but I need to get my thoughts out there or else I won't make a video about this at all. The real reason why Kunishige created that 7th blade and actually kept Chihiro hidden. I might turn this into its own separate video, but I don't know. One of the ideas that I had is, as we've seen point of Kunishige, he was very aloof. He was a funny guy, seemed like a very lovable guy amongst like his peers. Obviously, there was some that hated him that we've seen, but we also seen the serious side of him while creating these blades. And while we see him to be such a goofy character, I think there was more of a method to his madness. Did he know that people would eventually come for his life? Because if he did, that would explain a lot about why he raised Chihiro the way he did and why the seventh sword was created. I believe that Kunishige created this sword and had Chihiro so that just in case one day that he is murdered, that Chihiro would be the one to go and break the blades to make sure nobody could ever use them. I don't know. I think I might make that its own video because it sounds like a great idea. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts and everything about how this transpired. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Like I said, man, I know you guys are probably gonna have a problem with how I viewed this chapter, but I think it's the most logical and thought-provoking way of viewing this chapter, because when you read so much like me, you start to pick up on things and you see things from a different view. You start like really paying attention to all the small details and stuff. I'm back to making videos. Obviously, I got my Premiere and all of that stuff back because it's expensive and I don't understand why. We'll be getting back to almost daily videos. So like maybe like 4 or 5 videos out the week. We'll get back to that. And yeah, man, with that being said, it's your boy, DomoSenpai, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.